Let me ask you a simple question, and I want you to really think about it. When was the last time you woke up in the morning with that firm confidence? The kind that lets you know everything down there is still working like it used to? If it's been a while, or if you're like many men over 60 who are silently struggling with softness, inconsistency, or complete loss of function, then I want you to stay with me. Because what I'm about to share could completely change the way you think about food, blood flow, and your manhood. I want to introduce you to Richard. He's 68, retired, used to be a contractor, tough as nails. Came into my office, sat down, and looked me straight in the eye. "Doc," he said, "I still love my wife. I still feel the desire. But my body, it's like the lights are on, but nobody's home." He looked embarrassed, but also frustrated. "I've tried the pills," he said, "but they give me headaches, and I don't want to rely on them forever." Isn't there something natural that actually works? That's the question that brought us here today. Hi, I'm Dr. Robert Jansen. I've been a men's health specialist and urologist for over 30 years, and I've treated thousands of men just like Richard. The truth is, sexual performance after 60 doesn't disappear because you're too old. It fades because blood flow weakens, hormone levels decline, and certain lifestyle habits, especially your diet, slowly chip away at your virility. But, and this is important, just as food can hurt your performance, it can also help restore it. There are 3 specific nuts that I recommend to nearly every man who walks into my office with this concern. They're easy to find, taste good, and best of all, they support the exact mechanisms that keep you hard, healthy, and confident. In this video, we're going to talk about what those nuts are, how they work in your body, and how to make them part of your daily routine. But before we go further, do me a favor. If this topic hits home, if you or someone you care about has struggled with performance after 60, hit that like button. It tells me you want more natural, honest, senior-friendly advice like this. Tap subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss what's coming next. And here's a little test. Type yes in the comments if you've ever been frustrated with your erections, or no if you've never had that issue. I read every comment because your answers help shape future videos for this community. Now let's get back to Richard. I asked him what he ate every day. Typical breakfast? Cereal or toast? Lunch? A sandwich or maybe some chips? Dinner was usually meat, potatoes, maybe a small salad. Not terrible, but definitely lacking in what his body needed to support blood flow and nitric oxide production, 2 essential ingredients for a rock-hard erection. You see, what many men don't realize is that your ability to perform in the bedroom relies on 2 main things: good circulation and healthy testosterone levels. If either one is off, your erections suffer. And unfortunately, both tend to decline with age, unless you fight back the right way. That's where these nuts come in. I'm not talking about just snacking mindlessly on mixed nuts. I'm talking about 3 specific kinds, each chosen for its unique ability to restore what aging slowly takes away. Richard raised an eyebrow when I told him, "You're saying nuts can help me perform again?" I nodded, yes, because they support blood flow, reduce inflammation, and feed the parts of your body that control testosterone and artery function. We started him on a simple plan, just a small handful of the right nuts each day, alongside a few other changes I'll explain later. And within 3 weeks, he came back and said something I'll never forget. He said, "Doc, I woke up last night and I felt like I was 40 again." That's the kind of change that's possible when you feed your body what it's really missing. Now, before I share the first nut, and trust me, you'll want to know all 3, I want you to understand why this works. Erections are not just about desire. They're about blood flow. When your arteries are clogged, stiff, or inflamed, blood can't travel fast enough, or with enough pressure, to fill the chambers of your penis. That's what leads to partial erections, softening during sex, or no erection at all. But when you eat foods that increase nitric oxide, relax your blood vessels, and fight inflammation, it's like turning the water back on in a hose. Pressure returns, blood flows, and function improves, naturally. That's what these 3 nuts are proven to do. They contain amino acids like L-arginine, healthy fats that support hormone production, and antioxidants that protect your blood vessels. It's not magic, it's biology, working in your favor. Richard didn't need pills, he needed fuel, and once he gave his body what it was asking for, it responded beautifully. I'll walk you through each nut in the next part, and how to get the most benefit from them. But I want to leave you with this. If you're over 60 and you've been dealing with weaker erections, it doesn't mean your best days are behind you. It just means your body is ready for a different kind of support. And here's the truth I've learned in 30 years of men's health. Most guys don't need a prescription. They need a plan. One that starts with real food. One that respects how your body works now, not how it worked 30 years ago. So stay with me. I'm going to walk you through exactly what to eat, how much, and when, so you can start feeling like yourself again. And remember, if Richard can get his confidence back at 68, so can you. When Richard came back for his second visit, he looked different. Not just in posture or energy, but in his eyes. There was a certain spark, like something inside him had been reignited. "Doc," he said with a grin, "you weren't kidding. It's coming back." And I smiled because I've seen that transformation before. All it takes is the right support, given at the right time. Now, let's talk about the first of the 3 powerful nuts I mentioned, walnuts. Most guys think of walnuts as just another snack to toss into a trail mix. But few realize how potent they really are when it comes to erectile health, especially after 60. You see, walnuts are one of the richest plant sources of omega-3 fatty acids, which directly improve endothelial function. That's the fancy term for the health of your blood vessel linings. Why does that matter? Because your ability to get and stay hard depends entirely on how well blood flows through your arteries. The smoother those inner linings are, the better your erections will be. Walnuts also help your body produce nitric oxide, a key compound that widens blood vessels, allowing more blood to rush into your penis when it counts. I told Richard to start with just a small handful each day, about 6 to 8 whole walnut halves, preferably in the morning. Not roasted, not salted, just raw or lightly toasted for flavor. "You mean that's it?" he asked. "That's it," I said. "Just be consistent." Within a week, he noticed his morning erections were returning, and with more strength. That's how quickly your body can respond when you give it the right nutrients. Before I go on, I want to pause and check in with you. If this information is surprising, or if you've been relying on pills without ever trying nutrition, go ahead and tap that like button. It lets me know you're serious about making a real change. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss the rest of this natural performance protocol. If this message resonates, drop a "yes" in the comments, or a "no" if you've never had issues. I read every response, and it helps me serve this community better. Back to Richard. Once walnuts were in place, we added the second game changer, pistachios. Now, this one catches a lot of men off guard. Pistachios? Really? But study after study shows they're one of the best nuts you can eat for improving erectile strength. Here's why. Pistachios are high in a particular amino acid called L-arginine. This amino acid is converted by your body into nitric oxide, again, that critical compound for relaxing blood vessels and boosting blood flow. But pistachios don't stop there. They're also rich in antioxidants, plant sterols, and healthy fats that support testosterone production. In fact, there was a clinical trial done on men with erectile dysfunction where participants ate just 3 ounces of pistachios per day for 3 weeks. The results? Improved erection hardness, improved satisfaction, and better orgasmic function, all without drugs. Richard was amazed. "You're saying pistachios are better than pills?" he asked. I nodded. For many men, yes. Because they work with your body, not against it. We started small, 1 handful. About 1 to 1.5 ounces, every afternoon. He kept it simple, just raw, shelled pistachios, sometimes tossed on a salad or eaten with a piece of fruit. And after 2 weeks, he told me something that stopped me in my tracks. "Doc, my wife noticed." She didn't say anything at first, but I could tell she noticed. And that right there is the beauty of real results. They don't just change you, they start to heal the relationship. The connection. The confidence. Now, let me be very clear. This isn't about becoming a teenager again. This is about reclaiming your ability to feel like a man. Strong, present, capable. That doesn't come from quick fixes. It comes from fueling your body the right way. Richard kept up with his walnuts in the morning, pistachios in the afternoon, and started noticing his energy stayed more stable throughout the day. That's no accident. These nuts don't just help your manhood, they help your whole system perform better. Better circulation means better focus, more stamina, and even improved mood. That leads us to the third and final nut. It's the one most men overlook, but in my opinion, it's the foundation of this entire protocol: Brazil nuts. Why? Because Brazil nuts are nature's richest source of selenium, a trace mineral that is essential for healthy testosterone levels and sperm production. Selenium acts as a powerful antioxidant that protects your testicular tissue, supports thyroid function, and boosts hormone balance, especially in aging men. The challenge is, most older men are deficient in selenium and don't even know it. And without enough selenium, your testosterone tanks. Your energy drops. Your erections fade. Just one Brazil nut per day can provide your full daily requirement. That's all it takes. Just one. I had Richard eat a single Brazil nut in the evening, after dinner, almost like a little ritual. Within a few weeks, his blood work showed improved T levels, and he reported feeling more alive in his body. That was the word he used. Alive. Here's the thing, my friend. You don't need expensive supplements, injections, or risky prescriptions to get your edge back. Most of the time, you just need better information and the willingness to try something simple. That's what Richard did. Walnuts in the morning, pistachios in the afternoon, one Brazil nut at night. He committed to it for 30 days. No fancy powders, no pills, just nature's medicine. And now, he walks taller, he sleeps better, and yes, he performs better. Not like a 25-year-old, like a strong, confident man in his 60s who still has it. And so do you. In the next part, I'll share how to build a daily routine around these foods, what to avoid that could sabotage your results, and how to combine these natural boosters with a few key habits that make all the difference. But for now, take a deep breath, and believe this, your body isn't done. It's just been waiting for the right support. The truth is, most men don't fail in the bedroom because of desire. They fail because their body isn't getting what it needs to perform. And by the time they realize it, they've already spent a small fortune on pills, gadgets, or supplements that barely move the needle. That's why I always tell my patients, like Richard, we've got to start with the basics. The things your body recognizes, absorbs, and responds to naturally. By now, Richard had fully committed to his new daily routine. Walnuts in the morning, pistachios in the afternoon, and a single Brazil nut before bed. No fluff, just 3 simple foods, eaten consistently. And the difference in his body, his confidence, his posture, even the glow in his face, was undeniable. But he asked me something important on his 3rd visit. Doc, I feel great, but is there anything I might be doing that could mess this up? And I'm glad he asked, because yes, there are a few common habits that quietly sabotage your progress, even when you're doing everything else right. So let's talk about what not to do if you want the full benefit of these erection-boosting nuts. First, you've got to cut back on sugar. I don't mean you need to live like a monk, but processed sugar, especially in soft drinks, pastries, cereals, and hidden in sauces, is one of the worst offenders when it comes to blood vessel health. It causes inflammation, stiffens your arteries, and reduces nitric oxide levels, which, as we've discussed, is key for blood flow to your penis. Richard had a habit of sipping sweetened iced tea with lunch. Nothing crazy. But when we swapped it for lemon water and unsweetened green tea, his energy levels improved even more, and those late afternoon crashes started disappearing. Second, stay away from heavily processed meats like bacon, sausage, and cold cuts. Why? Because they're high in saturated fats, sodium, and nitrates, all of which damage the lining of your blood vessels and reduce testosterone. And without healthy testosterone, your desire and performance both suffer. Instead, I recommended Richard switch to lean proteins like grilled chicken, wild-caught salmon, or even legumes a few nights a week. Combined with the healthy fats from his daily nuts, this helped rebalance his hormones in a natural way, without needing a prescription. Third, and this is a big one, get moving. I know that might sound off topic, but trust me, it's not. Exercise is one of the most powerful tools we have for boosting erectile health. You don't need to hit the gym for hours. A 20-minute walk, a few bodyweight squats, or even light stretching can increase circulation, reduce stress, and improve testosterone. I asked Richard to commit to just 15 minutes of walking after dinner. Not a marathon, Just a walk around the block. He laughed and said, "Doc, I can do that." And he did. Within a couple weeks, not only did his performance improve, but he started sleeping better too. That's no coincidence. Better circulation equals better sleep, and better sleep equals stronger hormones. Now, let's talk about timing. When you eat these 3 nuts matters. I had Richard eat his walnuts in the morning, usually with breakfast or even a small bowl of oatmeal. Why? Because omega-3s help regulate your hormones throughout the day and support steady energy. They also help fight inflammation from the get-go. Pistachios in the afternoon served 2 purposes. They gave him a nutrient boost during the typical midday slump, and the L-arginine helped his body keep nitric oxide levels up as the day went on. The Brazil nut at night was like sealing the deal. Selenium from the Brazil nut helped regulate his testosterone levels during sleep, when much of your hormone production and cellular repair occurs. And that single nut? It did more than any supplement he'd ever tried. Of course, all of this only works if you're consistent. One good day won't fix 10 bad ones. But 1 week of consistency? That's where change begins. Here's what Richard's new day looked like, and what I now recommend to many of my older male patients. Morning. A light breakfast with a few walnuts. Sometimes with eggs, sometimes with oatmeal. A glass of water or unsweetened green tea. Afternoon. A small serving of pistachios, maybe with a piece of fruit or a boiled egg. Dinner. Lean protein, steamed veggies, and complex carbs like sweet potatoes or quinoa. Evening. 1 Brazil nut and a 15-minute walk. Then a good night's sleep. Nothing extreme. Just clean, natural routines that work with his aging body, not against it. Now, I want to pause here for a moment and ask, does this feel doable to you? If it does, give this video a like, and drop a quick comment below. Just type, yes, if you believe food can heal, or no, if you're still skeptical. Either way, I want to hear from you, because your feedback helps me tailor this advice to what you need most. The last thing I'll say in this part is this: don't underestimate the power of hope. Richard didn't, and neither should you. He could have kept suffering in silence. Could have chalked it up to aging and settled for less. But he didn't. He took action, small, consistent steps. And now, he feels like a new man. And you can too. In the next part, I'll walk you through how to personalize this plan for your unique body, how to talk to your partner about your progress, and the signs to look for that tell you it's working, sometimes even before you see the full results. But just remember this: it's never too late to feel strong again. And sometimes, the path to that strength starts with something as simple as a handful of nuts. By the time Richard walked into my office for his final check-in, he didn't just look better, he carried himself differently. Shoulders relaxed, eyes brighter, smile wider, and I'll never forget what he said. "Doc, for the first time in years, I'm not just hoping it'll work. I know it will." That's the transformation I want for every man over 60 watching this. Not just better performance, but the confidence that your body still works, that it still responds, and that you haven't lost your edge, you just needed the right tools to bring it back. In this final part, I want to help you take everything we've talked about, those 3 powerful nuts, the smart routine, the lifestyle tweaks, and personalize it. Because what works for Richard might need adjusting for you. Every body is different, but the principles stay the same. Let's start with what to watch for once you begin. The first sign things are working often shows up in the morning. You might notice firmer or more frequent morning erections, what we call nocturnal tumescence. This is a strong indicator of improved blood flow and hormonal balance. For many of my patients, this happens within 7 to 14 days of consistently adding these 3 nuts and cutting back on sugar, alcohol, and processed foods. The second sign is more energy during the day. When your circulation improves and your body's hormone levels begin to rebalance, you'll notice a change in your stamina. That dragging feeling that used to hit around 2 or 3 p.m. It starts to fade. You might even want to go for a walk, tinker in the garage, maybe even surprise your partner by initiating intimacy again, with confidence. That brings us to something important: talking to your partner. Now, I know for some men this is the toughest part. You might be thinking, what if she's given up on this? What if I've disappointed her too many times? But let me tell you something I've seen again and again. Women are far more understanding than we give them credit for. What they want is honesty, effort, and connection. Richard told me, I finally sat down with my wife and said, I'm trying something new. I'm not giving up, and I want you to know I still want you. He said. She cried, not because she was sad, but because she thought he'd stopped caring. His effort meant more to her than perfection ever could. You don't need to come in with fireworks. Just come in with openness. A simple, I've been trying some new things to feel stronger. I hope you'll notice a difference, goes a long way. Most women will not only support you, they'll encourage you. Now let's talk about what to do if results are slower than expected. Sometimes, if your health has been declining for a while, it might take 3 to 4 weeks before you see major improvement. That's okay. Don't give up. In those cases, we look at other factors. Are you sleeping enough? Are you getting 15 to 20 minutes of movement each day? Are you staying hydrated? Are you managing stress? Erections don't happen in a vacuum. They are a reflection of your overall health. And the better you support your whole body, the better your manhood performs. Another important tip. Make sure your nuts are fresh and high quality. Rancid or over-salted nuts won't help you. Buy from trusted sources. Keep your Brazil nuts in the fridge. They spoil fast. Stick to raw or dry roasted varieties with minimal added ingredients. And don't overdo it. 1 Brazil nut a day is enough. Too much selenium can be harmful. A small handful of walnuts and pistachios daily is the sweet spot. We're not talking buckets, we're talking balance. Finally, I want to leave you with this thought. You have more control than you think. So many men over 60 believe decline is inevitable. That their best days are behind them. That their manhood is fading, and there's nothing they can do about it. That is absolutely not true. What's true is this. Your body still wants to perform. It still wants to feel strong, connected, and confident. It just needs the right signals. And those signals start with what you eat, how you move, how you rest, and how you believe in yourself. Richard could have kept quiet. He could have chalked it up to aging. Instead, he asked for help. He committed to a new routine. And he got his life, and his confidence, back. You can do the same. Start today. Pick up a small bag of raw walnuts. Grab some shelled pistachios. Find a few fresh Brazil nuts. Keep it simple, keep it consistent, and pay attention to how your body responds. You don't need to chase quick fixes or expensive treatments. Most of the time, nature already provided what your body needs, you just have to give it a chance. So I want to challenge you, right here, right now. For the next 30 days, follow this simple plan. Every day, without fail. And if you do, I believe with everything I've seen in 30 years of practice, that you'll feel the difference. And when you do, come back and let me know in the comments. Share your story. Encourage another man who might still be suffering in silence. You never know who you'll help. If this video gave you something useful, something hopeful, tap that like button now. Hit subscribe and ring the bell, because this community is growing stronger every day. And if this spoke to you, type yes in the comments. Your feedback is how I know to keep going and keep showing up for you. You are not done. You are not broken. And you're not alone. I'm Dr. Robert Jansen, and I want to thank you for trusting me on this journey. Here's to your strength, your health, and your manhood. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.